never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born.
If your richest relative buys a new house and you have to help take the wheels off of it, you might be a redneck. If you refer to the 5th grade as my senior year, you might be a redneck. If you've ever taken a beer to a job interview, you might be a redneck.
Sagan's Cosmos, edited for rednecks. I'm Carl Sagan. Just how old is our planet? Scientists believe it's 400 and hundreds of years old. Scientists have determined that the universe was created by a God. Big Bang. If you look at the bones of a Jesus Rex, it's clear by the use of carbon dating that Mountain Dew is the best soda ever made.
Admit it, some of those were pretty funny. While others were downright offensive, a few were accurate, and some of them could not have been further from the truth. But all are pretty identifiable stereotypes of the South and its people. Yet that is not the South that I know, that is not the South that I grew up in. It is a vastly different place, one that many people west of the Rockies have no idea exists. I was a Southern boy through and through, raised in the kudzu-covered hills in the great state of Georgia. But life and life circumstances led me as far as possible from the swamps where I spent my youth. From the destitute life in the Okefenokee Swamp to the opulence of Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., to the barren wasteland of drunken debauchery that is Las Vegas. I don't even know if I could call myself a Southern man anymore. This is a piece of a documentary I am making. All of these pictures are mine, and the videos are either me or my brother's recordings. Please try not to hold anything my family has done in the past against me. Who am I, and what exactly makes a person who he or she is? Is it your family or the people we love? Is it the places you grew up, or maybe our experiences in life? Some say it's the languages that we speak or the food that we eat. What makes us who we are, and when those things are gone, what is left? I have been wandering for a long time, aimlessly searching for an answer to any or all of these questions. But this was not always the case. 2.5 years ago, I could have told you exactly who I was. My family, my fiancé, my religion, and my language. One by one. My fiancé passed away, and for 18 months I was in a drunken
back to Georgia,
himself
and I hope she will take me back.
When I stepped off the plane in
Nothing in my pocket.
I could not yet tell if it was the
All
same
I
or
own
myself
is
who had
upon
changed.
my back.
About an hour outside of Atlanta,
But she's
was a
the
shrine
girl
of
who
sorts to the
said
long
she
dead
loved me
Confederate.
on
They
that
were
hot,
carving the face of a
dusty
man,
Macon
a slab
road.
of rock so high it reached
And
the
if she's
clouds and
still
rose
around, I'm
They
gonna
call it
settle
stone.
down without a hard-loving Georgia girl.
I have a dream speech. While Mount Rushmore is only the heads, here in the South they are much more ostentatious than the carvers managed to get the details of the buckle
Walking
down to
back to Georgia,
hat and Robert E.
she's
Lee's
the
horse.
only one who
This was something my
knows
father had always promised to take me to, so
how
I
it
figured I would
feels
start
when you
my
lose a dream,
I took one
how
last
it
glance at the
feels when you
ridiculously
dream
ugly
alone.
and headed off toward a hometown
She's the
which I had
girl
not
who
stepped foot
said
in
she
for nearly
loved
a
me
decade.
on that hot, dusty Macon road. And if she's still around, I'm gonna settle down without a
The road from Atlanta south is a trip back into the past, passing through the places that time seems to have left behind. I drive by a town I spent many a nights in as a kid playing foosball and attending movies at the multiplex. There is a sadness in the air. The population has dwindled to a smattering of the elderly and the very young. The movie house is abandoned, and in fact, unless one looks closely, the entire town is abandoned. Time has moved on and left this place behind with nothing to show of it other than the fading paint on the sign of the rotting of a wooden fence. The amenities that one becomes so familiar with while living in a modern city are nowhere to be found. Town after town pass by on the highway, each one poorer and more isolated than the last. The South that most of America pictures is nowhere to be found. There are no happy-go-lucky rednecks with monster trucks and assault rifles, no guys in trucker hats with plaid shirts giggling about how they just have to get her done. The Southern stereotypes are not so much gone, but evaporated into desperation. Yes, the people out here will eat a raccoon or a snake, not because it would be funny and some producer prodded them to do it like Duck Dynasty. No, the people out here are just plain hungry. The sad thing is that the rest of America doesn't even know that this kind of poverty exists in their country.
I'd be crawling just to share another morning smile. But you're the girl who said you loved me on that hot, dusty long ago. And if you're still around, I'm gonna settle down with you, my hard-loving Georgia girl. Because I'm walking back to Georgia, and I hope she will take me back.
Here we are at my destination, a hometown I have not stepped foot in 9 years. Adrian, Georgia, less than 700 people. The modern world has not reached this far. There is barely a whiff of Wi-Fi, no hospital within 50 miles, and when people hunt, they hunt for food and not mantelpieces. My family has lived in these parts for a long, long time. The family history is full of poverty, ignorance, moonshining, racism, and even Klansmen. Yes, my family has had Klansmen, please don't hold it against me. But it all happened right here in the swamps of the Okefenokee. My father bucked this heavy family history to go to work for the ACLU in the 1970s. He spent most of his life fighting for the voting rights of poor blacks in the South. Needless to say that most of my family despised him and wished he would not show up at family reunions. I have to tell you this because it's important to know that no matter how racist the family is throughout history, one generation can change it. That being said, now we have to talk about my name, Ford, and its origins. In the South, it is common, if not culture, to have the first and last names of uncles, grandfathers, aunts, and grandmas be flipped. First names become last names, and last names become first names. Take my brother. His name is Hunter Terry. Both are first and both are last. Is he a Hunter or is he a Terry? More than likely it is both. It can be a bit confusing when doing family trees at the very least. So my name is Ford Kendrick. Recently it was broadcast to the entire world the shameful nature of whence my name originates from. The Best Picture winner of 2013 was a film entitled 12 Years a Slave, in which Benedict Cumberbatch plays a Georgia slave owner by the name of William Ford.
The most agonizing moment for Ford is the fact that he legitimately hands the rights to him over to Beats in order to pay off his debt. And it's like a loan, it's like a mortgage in a way. It's loaning this entity, this valuable, fiscally valuable human being in lieu of him paying back a debt that he owes. So it's horrendous. He knows he's feeding the Christian to the lion. He knows what he's doing, and it tortures his soul. But he still does it, and that's it. That's kind of the demarcation. That's where you know that however good a man Ford is, he's not truly good. He can't be.
Slave owner William Prince Ford is my namesake. His granddaughter Rose Ford married Thomas Kendrick, and then a few generations down the line, Ford became a family first name and was passed along to me. Searching my aunt's house, I find nothing to keep me an Adrian any longer, only memories of a life long past and a future I can never get back. My journey next leads me as far from the swamps of the Okefenokee as you could get and still call it Dixie, all the way to the Black Hills of the Appalachian Mountains, to the hometown of my mother, a town pretending to be a city, near where Kentucky meets the Ohio River, called Owensboro. It is here where I start to question the validity of lumping together all of the different peoples of the South as Southerners, rednecks, hillbillies, etc. What, other than the fact that they happened to secede together 200 years ago, do the two states, or any of the ones in between, have in common? Take food. People talk about Southern food as if it is all one ubiquitous cuisine. The truth could not be further from the case. Soul food is one thing entirely, mainly fried and primarily eaten by black Southerners, which is entirely different than the barbecue that I grew up with. The barbecue we ate in Georgia with my dad's folks was mostly whole hog, smoked bacon with a mustard sauce, utterly and completely different than the pit barbecue and pulled mutton served in my mom's hometown in Kentucky. Out west it is just called barbecue, and that encompasses everything from Kansas City to Memphis to Carolina. Another thing that is outside to the world one big southern jumble is the accent. That good old southern drawl. Sadly, I lost mine years ago. Living in Washington, D.C. will do that to you. But to those of us who have spent time below the Mason-Dixon line, I can tell almost immediately what part of the South a person is from, just based on hearing one or two sentences out of their mouth.
Folks think we all sound alike. But as different cultures settled in different parts of the South, they created different Southern accents.
So many times during my years as a Hollywood dialect coach, I'd be asked by a producer or director to teach a given actor a Southern accent, to which my immediate response was, which one? There are so many different Southern accents.
Now, somebody from South Georgia sounds a whole lot different from somebody from Appalachia like Barney Barnwell.
Some Yankee gal down here and said, she said, I've been trying to figure out where yonder is. Everybody's going over yonder, and I don't know where yonder's at.
You can trace this way of talking not to England, but to the Scotch-Irish who settled in the Appalachian backcountry.
As you get into more rural regions, mountain regions, Smoky Mountains, Ozarks further west, it's going to be even a tighter R, where that tongue's going to come up higher and the cavity is going to get smaller, and you're going to hear here, there, everywhere.
Family, heritage, our hometowns, our food, our accent, and our religion. I'm too liberal, as I like to put it, not racist, to be in the same room as most of the family. I'm ashamed by the heritage that comes with the past. I lost my accent, and of course religion died in my arms with my fiancé. So is there really anything left for me to identify collectively with as a Southerner? There is one last thing that I haven't mentioned that keeps pulling me back in. One thing I cannot leave behind, no matter what happens, no matter where I live. It unites every single town in the South. Republican or Democrat, racist or not, there is one thing we all have in common. Every Saturday afternoon, SEC football is the South's true religion. We will never stop preaching it. It is the one thing that has united the black and white populations, the one thing that will keep its people in touch with one another. My love for the area may dwindle, my connection with the people may break, and my accent may be gone, but I dare you to take away my Saturday SEC football. Go Dogs! Arr, 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 arr.